Welcome. Scott here. Here is a quick boss guide for the upcoming raid event, Rags of Stigma Tattered Ghost Raid, featuring the returning Ignis from Final Fantasy XV. The event synergy units are Ignis, Shadow, Serah, Queen, Quistis, Fran. Ignis's FR and Burst will be making their debut. Ignis will be getting his reworks and FR boards. Queen will be the other returning FR Burst unit. All featured units will be getting their level 50 force enhancements. We will be fighting 2 Tattered Ghost, which has 320 million HP each. They do not have any major resistances. The turn requirement is 50. The HP requirements is 5000. Before I continue further, here is a small disclaimer clause for the video. The guide is written based on the time that the event was released for the Japanese version. Please do note that it is possible that the boss fight mechanics might differ when the actual event is released in global. Like most other Shinryu fights, the boss gains increased brave damage and gain resistances at start of the fight and 79% HP threshold. Bringing a support like Iris, Setzer, Rosa, Queen, Braska, Rem, Yuna, Pernello, Charlotta, Aerith, Ramza, Fujin, Selpha, Ignis, or Siren that grants damage boosting aura will make your fight easier. As the boss gains substantial boost to their defenses with the auras, it is important to inflict debuffs that lower their defenses. On the screen, I have listed down the examples of the key utility that you can consider for this fight. The fight features debuff trigger thresholds when the boss force gauge reaches 30% and 60%. The frame debuffs have some annoying effects, so it is your best interest to prevent them with debuff evasion, debuff negation, or evade the debuffs with evasion. For debuff evasion options, you can consider Ignis, Aerith, Lena, or even Afma. Yuna FR phase gives the party debuff evasion. For debuff negation, you can consider using Raijin LDCA, Reno, or deploy Weiss with his BT aura. For evasion, Redia LDCA, and a evasion tank like 8, Kelger, Glove or Edge could also work here. To cancel the boss force time effects, you need to use a melee FR that deals fire elemental brave damage. You can do so by using Ignis FR or any of the melee FR like Queen, Quistis, Leo, Kaduch with a fire enchant call such as Lulu Call. Alternatively, you can deploy a fire enchanter in the party, Ignis, Lulu, Neon, and Ruby Conte. Other than the mechanics that I have mentioned, the boss has simple single attack rotations. Generally, this fight is much easier compared to the previous fight. You can cheese with the infamous ult Quina or Adero team comp, or just use Raijin LDCA and do the standard launch, delay and follow attack rush down team comp for an easy victory. It is also worth noting that this fight features Crystal Sparkles time limited mission, which will get you additional 750 rainbow crystal sparkles with a crystal color based team comp. For example, if you finish the fight with Ignis and Kelger, you can meet both the crystal sparkles time and featured character limited mission. Likewise, you can do 2 separate Shinryu, a run with Ignis for ticket mission and another team comp such as Ruby Conte solo for the crystal sparkle mission. As we are no longer have Lufania Plus fights, the boss guide will be focused primarily on Shinryu fights. In Shinryu, you need to understand the effects gained by the boss as the force gauge build up, its force ability and its force time effect. As your party has low force levels, it is highly certain that the boss force gauge will build up faster than yours. To have a better understanding on the basics of the force gauge mechanics and Shinryu fights, I have done a video explaining the mechanics. I have included the link to the video under the comments and video description for your quick reference. Throughout the fight, the boss will also gain 4% charge rate up when your party members act. When the gauge reaches 30% and above, both bosses will trigger inflicted debuffs. Inflicted debuffs will result both bosses to apply 4 frame debuffs, 50% HP damage down, 100% attack down, 100% max brave down, and a poison debuff that scales off 100% of the unit's own max brave. All debuffs will last for 3 turns. The thresholds debuff trigger won't occur during your summon or burst phase, but will occur once you have exited those phases. When the gauge reaches 60% and above, both bosses will trigger inflicted debuffs again. The effects are the same as the previous threshold. The boss force gauge will build up faster as its HP is lowered. You can refer to the table on the screen for the percentages. At the 100% threshold, the boss A will use its force ability, Soul Tackle Plus, which is a reset break status, followed by an AoE Magic Brave plus HP attack. Upon using the force ability, the boss will enter into its force time, where the gauge will start to emit a red hue with a counter of 20 on its gauge. When the force time is activated, the boss will gain the following enhancements. The boss party raises their brave damage resistance by 100%. To deal the boss force weakness, which remove the boss force time, you need use a melee FR that deals fire elemental brave damage. Iggy FR will meet the condition. You can use any non-elemental FR with fire enchant call such as Lulu base call, or bring a party fire enchanter such as Neon or Ignis. If you bring a elemental FR such as Kurasame, you need to bring a true fire enchant utility such as Lulu LDCA, or have Neon activate her BT aura. Now, let us go through the fight key mechanics. Like the recent battles, fight features minimal mechanics. The boss has a standard basic rotation where it rotates between Banishing Gaze and Blizarga. If its brave is high, the boss could do a rip single target HP attack. Both attacks are single magic brave attacks. Compared to the previous fight, the ghost in this fight is Casper class. They do not have any annoying warp mechanics, or even more harmless than their first debut event in Ruby Conte Lost Chapter. You can deploy a hit and counter strategy involving the usual off-turn team comps with Almighty Ruby Conte and Kelger, off-turn attackers such as Beatrix or Core, using the cover tanks such as Orin and Golov. You can also use the turn disable strategy to prevent the boss from acting and turning them to punching bags for an easy victory. You can also make them harmless with the Brave control utility such as freeze debuffs or Brave gain nullification BT such as Iris. It is important to note that the fight features a Crystal Sparkles time-limited mission. To get the reward, you need to clear the Shinryu stage with Crystal Color theme comp. You can do it with the usual solo champions such as Ruby Conte or Kelger, or deploy a Crystal Quest trio to complete the requirements. With the boss mechanics explained, let us proceed to the debuting FR Burst Kit review for Ignis. Before I continue to talk about Ignis, Queen is a valuable unit to pull if you are lacking in the white crystal attackers. Like Kaduch, she can also solo the Brothers Spiritus, which can get you all the rewards in one run. She is also one of the 3 units to provide party-wide last stand, which is great for fights that features hard-hitting attacks. Okay, now let's focus on Ignis. Iggy has returned a decent rework. He is party fire enchanter with great force charger utility. His buffs effect switches depending on the stance he is in. Pastry stance will provide party-wide debuff evasion, while Papa Bowl will provide the party with stronger offensive auras. He can burst heal with his S1 and pull the party turns forward with his EX. If you have his BT aura, Ignis can be a reliably damage dealer as well. His FR will heal the party HP by 80%, followed by an AoE melee brave plus HP attack. His force conditions have easy to meet conditions. If the party do not have any debuffs when taking a turn, you will get 40% HP damage bonus. Ignis can allow the party to meet this condition if he is pastry stance. You can pair him with debuff evasion units such as Aerith, Lena, or Weiss and have him going into his Papa Bowl stance. When the unit's HP is at least at 100%, you will get 40% HP damage bonus. If your party HP is maxed, you will meet this condition easily. Ignis has decent HP regen auras and burst heal utility with his S1. Generally, this is a valuable FR to have with easy to meet conditions. The condition can abuse with supercharging strategy that allows you get 120% per turn. If you have his BT aura active, those turns can deal tremendous amount of damage as well. Let me cover a bit on his BT aura. The BT aura lasts 10 turns. Like most BT auras, it will grant some standard party auras. It will raise the party brave damage cap plus 50%, brave damage plus 50%, HP damage plus 20% and max brave cap by 30%. When Iggy takes a turn, he will trigger his personal follow attack, Total Clarity, which will batteries the party with 80% of Iggy's max brave, followed by AoE brave plus HP attack 6 times. The attack will also extend Iggy's buffs. So, is Iggy an important unit to pull? If you are doing the Red Crystal quest or miss out Aerith, he is valuable addition to your roster. With his BT aura, he can constantly deal HP damage while charging the gauge as well. He is also a good party fire enchanter. In general, any FR charger units are good. The problem is that are too many FR chargers for this month. So you have prioritize which one helps your roster the most. With this, I have come to the end of my boss guide presentation. Hopefully you find it useful. If you like the video, please give a like. Please subscribe to my channel for future gaming content. Good luck for the fight in the coming days. Bye.